The girth of his what?
You're like a father to me.
Hey!
And go.
What's up, everyone? Adam from FWCI. This is Brewstew Public School in the 90s. A subject that I'm very well versed in. First of all, if you want to support my channel further, go to patreon.com/FWCI or go to patreon.com/Brewstew if you want to support the man himself. Public school in the 90s. Man, I started school in 91, started high school in 98, I guess it was. No, 99, I would have started high school. So I lived through all of this. I've told a whole bunch of stories about stuff that's happened in schools. You all know the stories about Mr. Diddy. I don't know what else. We used to have trays in primary school, elementary school. It was like just a little drawer thing that we'd keep all of our shit in. It was your tray, and you got to decorate your name plate on the thing, which for me was the highlight of every year. Favorite teachers was in year 2. I had this lady named Mrs. Walkup, and she was a drama teacher. I don't know if she used to do drama and then she took over teaching just a regular grade 2 class, but she was really into drama, so it was right up my alley. And I'm pretty sure the year that she had me was her last year teaching, and she was, not that she had checked out, she did a good job teaching, but she was way more into doing a class play than anything else. And her and I got along very well. And then I had a very cool teacher in high school named Mr. Hillinger, who was just very understanding to the complex ADD hyper-creative mind that is me. He probably helped me get more out of myself than any other teacher I've had in the past. So, good experiences, bad experiences. Who sucked? Who's the shit teacher? We had a deputy principal in high school called Mr. Taylor, and he would say things along the lines of, "I will suspend you with a smile on my face." That's what we were dealing with on almost on a daily basis from that guy. But let's see what Bruce Stew's got to say about it. This is Public School in the 90s.
All right. Now, for those of you that don't know, I just did a cartoon on school punishments from back in the day. Like when we had to write stuff.
I recall.
It got me thinking about other aspects of my school days that may or may not be a thing anymore. Like, for example, coat rooms. Are those still a thing? Do they exist? You see, I went to one of those old-ass public schools back in the day that looked like a fucking King Koopa castle from Super Mario Brothers. And all those old-ass schools had a separate coat room attached to the classroom where you'd hang all your shit up at. We didn't have any of those stupid-ass little cubbies that they use nowadays. All right, little children.
I wouldn't say we have a cubby, but that's what a tray looks like. I see it. Tommy, Roberto. No coat rooms, though. They would just whack a bunch of hooks on a wall somewhere and we just hang our bags there.
Let's put our mittens away in our little cubbies, shall we? No, back in my day, you put your shit in the coat room because your teacher didn't want to look at your stupid-ass, obnoxious Angry Beavers book bag. Put it away. Go. But the cool thing about the coat room was that was the place where all the shady shit would go down when you were a kid. Like if you had Pokemon cards to trade before class or a fucking Newport menthol to smoke, well, you did that shit in the coat room where the teacher couldn't see you. Hell, I've seen entire fucking fist fights go down in the coat room. I seen a kid catch a missile drop kick to the teeth, and then 5 minutes later, he was sitting at his desk taking a spelling test. Not to mention the time where a kid took a piss inside of the coat room, and we all got to go outside again for a bonus recess while the janitor cleaned that shit up. What a fucking time to be alive. You definitely can't pull that shit off with a fucking cubby. You're asked to catch a indecent exposure charge. So what I'm saying is bring back the coat rooms, all right? They're fucking cool. Hashtag fuck cubbies. Now, another thing that seems to be disappearing from schools these days is having your own desk. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it sure seems like schools these days just throw a bunch of tables and chairs in there for kids to sit at. And I think that's a pretty big mistake because having your own desk was part of your identity back then. That was your desk. That was your little piece of the classroom. Don't touch my desk, goddammit. I pay the property tax on this motherfucker. Go, get away. Don't even look at it.
Yeah, okay, alright, so it looks like he's talking about elementary school with all of this. So, yeah, you had a allocated seating place, but it was these desks that was like wide enough for 2 kids, and then they would just arrange them however suited them in the class. But you couldn't really do anything with it. You just like get your little cup with your pens, maybe a pencil case, if you're not putting them in your tray, of course. That's basically all it was.
Hell, your desk was basically an extension of your student self. Like, if you got in trouble in class, chances are your teacher would send you and your desk out in the hallway as a punishment. Why are you sitting out here? Because me and my desk were being obnoxious little assholes during a spelling test, that's why. Now, how orderly you kept your desk depended a lot on if you were a little boy or if you're a little girl. Because little girls tended to be cleaner and a little bit more organized. They'd have like all their books neat and orderly. All their Lisa Frank folders would be in rainbow order and shit.
Yep.
Then you check out a little boy's desk and holy hell, that shit would look like an active crime scene. There'd be shit crammed in there all haphazard like. There'd be like a
I'm hearing every single word of this. Every single girl that I ever remember going to school with was incredibly neat, and most of the boys, maybe, I think there was a couple of dudes that were pretty neat as well, but most of the dudes that I was friends with were fucking slobs. Correct.
half-eaten moldy Pop-Tart sitting there, a dead hamster in the corner and shit. You didn't know what the fuck you were gonna find in a little boy's desk. That shit would look like a goddamn I Spy book from back in the day. I spy with my little eye 6 boogers and 9 toenail clippings. Gross. Fucking sick. But hey, it was your desk. You got to keep it how you wanted it. Hashtag fuck tables and chairs. Okie dokie. Now the next thing that I want to talk about is student graders. You remember back in the day when your whole classroom would get finished with like a science quiz or something, and your teacher would be sitting there like, well, I don't feel like grading your guys' bullshit right now. Everybody pass your paper to your neighbor and pull out a red pen. I'm gonna read off the answers, and you guys are gonna grade your own shit. Well, having students...
I remember doing that once. And for some reason, I surmised, I think even back then, I surmised that they were testing us to see who would, like, be dishonest. That was my thing. But I remember doing that, like, once. That's a very vivid memory, all of a sudden.
Grade papers could be a good thing, or it could suck ass completely. Like if you were grading one of your friends' papers, instead of marking something wrong, maybe instead you'd change their dumbass answer and penciled in the right one. And then maybe, you know, at lunchtime they gave you their chocolate milk, and it was a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
But then the other side of the coin is, you'd have somebody like Natasha's fucking forthright goody two-shoe ass grading your test, and she'd be like, nope, fucking wrong. Photosynthesis isn't the first layer of the atmosphere, you stupid asshole. You suck, -2 points. You suck ass, Natasha, with your always by the book ass. I hope you get head lice again, like you did last winter, you fucking narc. But hey, you win some and you lose some. Student graders were still the shit. Hashtag fuck Natasha. All right, now there's one last little thing.
Sure, let's go.
Today, and that, of course, is pencil sharpeners. Or more specifically, the pencil sharpener. You know, the one that was at the front of the classroom, bolted to the fucking wall so nobody could steal it. Is that still a thing these days? Are there still kids in this day and age that go up to that pencil sharpener in the middle of a quiz and just sharpen the shit out of their pencil for like 45 minutes straight?
You know what? I would guess 45 minutes straight. I would guess that these days it's probably just been whittled down to like all plastic little tiny ones that you just do like that probably barely work. Because those things were a fucking death trap, and almost, if not worse, was the electronic one where you jam the pencil in and it's like but it's always tempting to jam like a fucking pen in there or something. The people that were selling those type of pencil sharpeners must have been like, it must have been like D-Day for them when someone invented like a portable one. A portable one that keeps the shavings in, no less.
Like, you're sitting there trying to focus, you're fucking up your science quiz 6 ways to Sunday and shit, but that little asshole just keeps on going, because every time he pulls out his pencil, it would look like this shit right here, which would just repeat the cycle over and over again. Eventually your teacher just snaps and she's like, fucking sit down, Eric, god damn it, that's enough. You get a 0 on your quiz. If you can't sharpen a goddamn pencil, well, it's probably safe to say you don't know shit about the atmosphere. You suck, you get an F. Look, I don't know if the pencil sharpener is still a thing, but God, I hope it is. What a time to be alive. Hashtag fuck mechanical pencils. All right, so those are just some of the things that I wanted to talk about today. And really, I could just go on and on and on about certain shit. I mean, I didn't even talk about the fucking Pizza Hut Book It program, for Christ's sake. You know, when they used to give us personal pan pizzas for reading 5 Frog and Toad books. Neat, cool, all right. Really? So if you guys want to hear more...
Really? How did that work? How did you redeem that? I would like some further information on that little arrangement.
Or if you have any suggestions, why don't you drop a comment down below? Or don't, I'm not your dad. I can't. Or if you have any frog and toad books, neat, cool, all right. So if you guys want to hear more, or if you have any suggestions, why don't you drop a comment down below? Or don't, I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do. The end.
Other than the coat rooms, I'm here for every single one of those. That was a pretty accurate depiction of the tiny little details of like history and what you remember and things like that. It's little things like the pencil sharpener, you know? But it's interesting that Tyler was saying at the end there, if you have any suggestions, let me know down in the comments. I think that's a new thing. Is that the first time he said that? What would you like to see Tyler do? Because I guess he's gonna run out of stories at some point. Like, he's not just gonna start making shit up off the top of his head, be like, oh, here's something that happened. At that point, he just becomes a comedian. So, I don't know. Me personally, I'd like to see an epic rap battle between Tom and Dan from 13 O'Clock News, is it? The divorced guy and the alcoholic. I think there would be some fun jokes to tell in an epic rap battle between those two characters. And Tyler, if you are watching, I will happily offer my services to write that shit. I'd love to see some of his videos where he's interjecting himself into movies and TV shows and stuff like that a little bit more. I always get a laugh whenever we see like a cutaway to like Who's the Boss or whatever, and he just puts his own spin on like a quick little scene like that. I don't know if there's a way to make Tyler from Brewstew go into all the different TV shows or movies that you can make jokes about. It's an interesting thing. As a content creator myself, you always have to kind of be looking at what's like 3 steps ahead, not just the next step ahead kind of thing. So I am very curious to see what we get from Brewstew in the coming months, years, decades, centuries. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Patreon.com/FWCI if you want to support me. Patreon.com/Brewstew if you want to support the man himself. And as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends, ta-ta, and farewell.
11, 12, 13, a pro.
Dan Peterson, live here under a bridge. Cause every other weekend this is where Tom is. Paying for a woman that is not his. Fatty fat fatties and his mom is. But he's good at his job when he learns how to mimic. And he's gonna go back to the rehab clinic. He's pathetic, addicted, alcohol afflicted. A bit of a bitch and still narcissistic. Thanks for that, Dan. I'm at the desk and I'd like to express how I fucked your ex. She was most grateful after years of neglect from a no-good jackass that can't get a rag. I may splurge